I can't believe we even have to have this conversation. It's Friday afternoon, car barreling down the streets, and every stoplight and every turn signal pushes the hassle of homework and encroaching exams farther and farther away into the rearview mirror. Nothing can ruin this day. But the TV flickers on and I see it. Tumbling out of the doors like water flooding free from a dam, the torrent rushes off, carrying them, all arms flailing, until it washes them away, and they're strewn across the parking lot, unsure whether to run or hide or remain with their feet rooted in the asphalt like weeds no one dares to cut. They may not be drowning, but I see it in their faces. They can't breathe.
What if it were me?
Phase 1. All too composed, the news anchor drones on while the footage from this week's school shooting plays on a loop. The shots ring over and over and over again. Her words wash past me, a frigid wave whose drops I make no effort to retain. I've heard this all before.
My stomach churns, but I have to admit, I can't help but feel relieved that it's them and not me.
Phase 2. Politicians toss our lives around like orcas throwing screaming seals into the air until they grow bored and leave us to freeze.
Our memories, tortured until next shooting spree. Suddenly, laws about gun control conveniently pass in and out of fashion. 1 minute, we're thrown in the spotlight, pinned and examined, our worst fears are naked in front of the nation. The next, we are cast aside like plastic into a landfill.
To them, we are disposable.
Their boots press against our necks, wrenching the air from our lungs, trampling on us, using us like our murders are a platform to promote their image.
But what can you do? It's election season after all.
And don't worry, they're saying their thoughts and prayers.
Phase 3. As painful as it is to watch news anchors and pandering politicians throw screaming students into the air, tossing them like hot potatoes to their enemies across the aisle, it's even worse once they stop.
Ear-splitting silence infects each school day once a shooting has fallen out of view. Every step echoes, every voice pierces. Now the countdown begins.
But shootings keep coming, as predictable as the tides. I used to enjoy fire drills. They took my mind off of the relentless stream of due dates, and maybe I'd miss a math test. But with our bodies crowded and clumped into parking lots and hallways and football fields, we are bait balls of fish just waiting to get swallowed.
We're easy targets delivered on a concrete platter.
The blistering blaze announced by the piercing alarms could char our skin, but at least it won't burrow bullet ticks in our bodies or pluck away the lives of our friends like bothersome burrs from a shoe. I know exactly where I would go if it happened.
Every year just means more rooms to memorize exactly how to escape from it if it happened. Dozens of strategies run futile if the shooter sits next to me. And when teachers declare that our phones must be huddled in front of the classroom amid crowded pockets, I can't decide whether I'm more concerned with not being able to check Instagram if my friends message me or text my parents a final goodbye if a gun fires.
During active shooter drills spent huddled in closets, we are expected to be as silent and unmoving as the legislation on Congress's floor. In reality, it's spent nudging friends and making faces, daring each other to let out bubbling giggles that threaten to escape and touch every corner of the room. We are shot irritated warning looks from teachers leaning against entryways like doorstops waiting to be kicked down. But I know they understand. They feel it too.
We have to laugh so we don't cower in fear, so we don't howl and cry, and so the reality that we could all die in a place where we are supposed to be safe doesn't swallow us whole.
We feel lucky when we leave school at 3, not because we've shed the pressures of tests and essays and applications, but because we're still alive.
Is it too much to ask for a diploma that isn't pierced by bullet holes?
Is it too much to ask to learn without a gun digging into my back?
I
I just want to feel safe.